We are Winnetka Bowling League. My name is Matthew.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Blake.
Kris.
Sam.
And where are you from?
I'm from Orange County.
We're collectively from the Los Angeles area, namely the Valley.
I live in Boston.
Yeah,
I'm the only outsider.
I live in the Valley.
Born and raised in the Valley.
For those of you who don't know what the Valley is, it's the best part of Los Angeles. Nobody will ever argue that fact. Ever.
When did you start making music?
Together we started making music very recently, and then separate we've all kind of had our musical endeavors for years and years, different bands, different kind of projects and stuff, but this is sort of a newly formed thing. So, in a word, we don't know each other at all. Likes, dislikes, preferences, what we smell like in a band after a long time. We don't know these things yet, but we will.
And who did you listen to growing up?
I grew up on a lot of singer-songwriters, a lot of Elvis Costello, Springsteen, Tom Waits, a lot of storytellers, and grew up kind of playing in a lot of bands, so kind of a mixed bag of stuff. Kris played in a bunch of hardcore bands growing up, so that was one end of the spectrum, and then the opposite was kind of our parents' music. So yeah, a little bit of everything, I guess.
How did you get started?
I think we all have pretty individual stories, but for the most part, we all started at a pretty young age. Kris and I grew up in a really musical household. He played drums.
Still play drums.
He still tries to play drums. He's actually a shaker expert. So for any of your shaker needs, questions, like sometimes you don't know what song to use, like which kind of shaker to use for which song, he's the guy. So email him, info@bigfastnairdrum.com. You can be contacted and consulted on any and all shaker problems. He plays drums, I play guitar, and we kind of just always jammed together. That was sort of our childhood. Instead of toys, we had musical instruments. So our parents forced us in a nutshell.
What felt like your first break?
In terms of this band or in terms of music?
I guess both.
I don't know if you ever feel like there's a break. I feel like anytime you get to sort of one mountaintop, you get a different view, and then you're looking at the other mountaintop that you're not at yet. So I don't know that I've ever experienced this moment of like, oh, we've made it. I think everything's a real win. With this band in particular, I think because the music is something I care so deeply about. Every fan, every time there's a little win, it feels like a really big victory, but your eyes are sort of always set on what the next thing is. I don't know if that's the healthiest thing in the world, but it's definitely how I think my brain works.
How did you decide that this is what you were going to do?
Blake, how did you decide you were going to play music?
It chose me.
Good answer.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Boy Scouts.
As opposed to the Boy Scouts, it was one of two outlets, and this seemed a lot cooler. Though
Little did you know.
Little did I know how wrong I was.
You've been playing since super young too, yeah?
Yeah, I started playing violin when I was 4, but that didn't go so well.
Yeah, you played clarinet really young.
Clarinet?
Yeah.
That's cool.
We're kind of interviewing each other, so
Yeah.
I played clarinet. I used to throw it down the stairs at my school, so I in hopes of breaking it, so I wouldn't have to play it.
Relic.
I was relicing when at a very young age. I was like, all these guys have their shiny clarinets. I want mine to look like it's been used by insert clarinet player. That was my biggest influence in the 3rd grade.
Right.
That.
Who's the big clarinet player? What's his name? Kenny G?
Is that clarinet?
No.
Or oboe? I feel like he plays oboe.
No.
Well, saxophone.
Sax.
He plays sax, of course.
But it's like this way though, isn't it?
Soprano sax.
I know a guy who dresses as Kenny G for Halloween, and he looks really good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Kenny G.
What life events have impacted you and your music the most?
I don't know that there's any one event. I think when you're in music, it's sort of just this long expression that continues throughout. So whatever you're experiencing, you sort of filter through these goggles, and it comes out the other side. So I don't know that there's ever one life event that sort of is the impactful moment. I think it's kind of a series of events that continuously influence or dictate a direction or bouts of inspiration or what have you.
What's a story behind the name Winnetka Bowling League?
I'm on a bowling league in Winnetka called the Winnetka Bowling League. You can put the rest together.
So tell me a bit about your debut self-titled EP, Winnetka Bowling League, that you just released.
It's kind of our first little dive into the pool to start swimming. First 5 songs written and first 5 songs recorded to kind of start letting people know who we are and what we do. But it's sort of, yeah, it's a little bit of our calling card, I guess. Just, hey, check it out. This is what it sounds like. This is who we are.
What role does California and Los Angeles play in your music?
I think lyrically it was the backdrop for a lot of stuff, which is kind of ironic because most of this EP was written in New York after having lived in Los Angeles for like 10 years. So I think, like most storytellers, it always helps to sort of have a place or a foundation for where the stories and the characters exist, and this naturally just sort of was it because it's where I sort of had my roots, and I think all of us have obviously come here from different places, but once you're here long enough, it sort of just becomes home, because it is a very mixing pot of a place where you meet a lot of people who aren't necessarily from here, but do find their groups to make it their own. So I think this is lyrically just kind of about that experience, whether it's the characters in it or the actual place or what have you, and playing a little bit with the stereotypes of what California is and not taking it so seriously. I think that's a big part of surviving in Los Angeles, is sort of finding your group and finding your people outside of the stories you would hear or something.
What are some things that are important to you that you like to address through your music?
I don't know that I ever think about that. I think music is to be interpreted by the listener for the most part, so you could share your experience and you hope to find an audience that subscribes to that perspective so they can go through their life experience, and if they find points of comparison then they can join there. But I don't know that I ever think about the purpose of trying to communicate anything lyrically other than just an honest perspective of what it is I'm feeling or experiencing, and hoping that just connects in a way that's sincere or unique to somebody else's story, or they could see pieces of themselves in it.
Who would you most like to collaborate with and why?
That's the impossible. I don't know, Elvis Costello would be pretty cool, because he's cool.
Who's that?
Yeah. Because we could talk about glasses, and I don't know, what else would we talk to Elvis Costello about? Who would you really want to work with? Blaze Bayhan.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
forgetting Stephen Jenkins?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
God.
I only want to work with Stephen Jenkins, ever. He's the singer of the band Third Eye Blind. I sell t-shirts with his name on it. You custom order them. Just reach out to Winnetka Bowling League with your size and your color preference, and I will hand make them for you. Stephen Jenkins. Yeah. We miss you. There's actually a piece of art drawn by Stephen Jenkins. There's certificate of office, like the thing that shows it's legit on the back. What is it?
The authenticity?
Authenticity. I can think of the words.
Yeah.
Right there.
Take it to Antiques Roadshow.
It's real. It's real. Antique Roadshow.
My dad lives in that show.
It's right next to Costello. See, that's where I put them as far as pecking order.
That's your collaboration wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's our mood board collaboration wall.
Stephen Jenkins, Elvis Costello, that dinosaur,
Godzilla.
sushi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whatever's in the
Collaborators.
viewfinder.
Was it Godzilla? It's not just some random dinosaur?
Yeah, it's Godzilla. But that sounds like a band you should probably record, Some Random Dinosaur.
Yeah.
What about Sushi Godzilla?
Sushi Godzilla. Good
Okay.
name.
What are your interests and passions outside of music?
I like bowling. Yeah. Hiking. Dogs. Sippy cups. Food.
Stephen Jenkins.
Escape rooms.
Oh,
Escape
yeah.
rooms.
We love escape rooms.
We love escape rooms.
That's been our band bonding experience, is escape rooms. I'm terrible at them, they're great at them.
Everybody plays their part.
Yeah. Flashlight, man. Important.
Yeah, I wear the jackets. Yeah.
What's your favorite book, film, and music right now?
Anybody?
What's the question?
Book, favorite music, favorite film. What to expect when expecting. That's my favorite book right now. 3 Weeks from a Child, so that makes sense.
It's way better than the film.
The book version's better than the
Way
film.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The film can be seen on my Instagram over the course of the next 16 to 25 years.
Soundtrack
Yeah.
is questionable.
Soundtrack is questionable.
Yeah.
For the first couple of years.
Right.
I just watched Rampage twice on Delta.
With Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
It's really good.
That's
You watched it twice
Yeah.
in a row?
No.
I just
Random.
found out that Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Vin Diesel are not the same person.
Wow.
Like 2 weeks ago.
That should probably be in your Instagram bio.
Yeah.
Wow. So
They're not the same.
No.
So I think we need to like at some point set up a picture where you're with both of them.
I'm in.
Okay, we'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We'll sort that.
That's doable.
Great.
Just
Next
to
year's
prove it to
birthday.
her.
Put
Can we
them
make
on the
that happen?
mood board.
Yeah, we'll put them on the mood board of collaboration desires.
Life goals.